200,000 more people came to watch the Indiana Fever than any other team in the league. The second best was 400,000. The Fever attendance is 200,000 more people this season than any other organization. The Liberty is next at 400,000. These are numbers when people talked about at the beginning of the season, the high tide lifts all boats or whatever, basically. Like, if you buy into this, everybody is going to eat.
The WNBA thought they had it all figured out. Caitlin Clark joins the league, fans go wild, and the money starts rolling in. But here's what they didn't count on: losing $40 million even with their new superstar. It's a financial disaster that's got everyone from players to owners freaking out. So what happens next? Can the league survive this setback, or is this the beginning of the end for women's pro basketball? We're about to break down the numbers, the drama, and the future of the WNBA. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever had over 1.8 million viewers. This is now on an NFL Sunday. They had over 1.8 million viewers, and the rest of the games had around 400,000 viewers. These people are coming in waves to watch one player who has sold out every single arena that she has played in this season. I have not seen the viewership reports for the games last night yet, but I'm sure that it is probably double of what the Indiana Fever game got on Sunday.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark, the $40 million rookie who's taking the WNBA by storm. How much do you think the top WNBA rookie make? You won't believe this. Clark's salary for her first year? A cool $76,535. That's right. The most hyped rookie in WNBA history is making less than some entry-level office jobs. But here's where things get crazy.
I wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference and every interview that she did with reporters and anytime she did any media, if she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. It's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction. The death threats that she was getting, the stalking allegations that she was getting, if she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place.
Caitlin Clark joins the Indiana Fever, and suddenly everyone's losing their minds. Ticket sales are through the roof. We're talking $4,000 for courtside seat. Fans are lining up around the block just to catch a glimpse of her in action. The buzz is insane, and it feels like the WNBA is finally having its moment. You'd think with all this hype, the league would be rolling in cash, right? Wrong. Despite Clark's star power, the WNBA is bleeding money like there's no tomorrow. It's like they've got a golden goose, but someone forgot to patch the holes in their pockets. Let's break down these numbers for a second. You've got $4,000 tickets flying off the shelf. Merchandise sales are booming. TV ratings are up, but somehow the league is still facing millions in losses. It's like filling up a bathtub with the drain wide open.
She's the first rookie to win WNBA Player of the Month since the award's inception in 2010, and last night it was no exception. They were sky high for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, but to start the season, they had a little bit of a rough go of it. They lost their first 5 games. They ended up 1-8 through their first 9 games, and during that first month, the playoffs, they didn't feel realistic at all. Indy entered the Olympic break 11-15 on the year, and then they really turned it around. They've won 7 of their 8 since. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016, which, by the way, was the last year of Hall of Famer and franchise icon Tamika Catchings.
Imagine this: packed arenas, fans going wild, media coverage off the charts, but behind the scenes, empty bank accounts and worried executives. It's a total head-scratcher. How can a league be so popular and so broke at the same time? You know what's even crazier? This isn't just a little financial hiccup. We're talking about a $40 million loss for the season. That's right, even with Caitlin Clark mania in full swing, the WNBA is set to lose $40 million this year. It's like they've hit the jackpot and gone bankrupt in the same breath. Hold up though. This financial disaster isn't just affecting the WNBA. There's a hidden connection that ties this mess to one of the biggest sports leagues in the world, and some major players are getting ready to pull the plug. What's the link, and who's holding the power to shut it all down? You know who's really freaking out about this $40 million loss? The NBA owners. That's right, the big dogs of basketball are sweating bullets over the WNBA's financial woes. Why? Because the NBA owns a whopping 75% of the WNBA. That means when the Women's League bleeds cash, it's the NBA that feels the pain. Now, picture this. You've been pouring money into a business for 27 years, and it's still not turning a profit. That's exactly what's happening with the NBA owners and the WNBA. They've been funding this league since 1996, and their patience is wearing thinner than a rookie's playbook. You know it's bad when the bigwigs start complaining, and that's exactly what's going down. James Dolan, the owner of the New York Knicks, is leading the charge. He's not just grumbling, he's demanding answers. Dolan and his fellow owners want to know where all their money's going, and they're not happy with the lack of transparency. It's like they've been writing blank checks for years, and now they're finally asking to see the receipts. Can you blame them? We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars invested over nearly 3 decades, and what do they have to show for it? A league that's still operating in the red. So now these NBA owners are facing a classic dilemma. Do they keep throwing good money after bad, or do they cut their losses and run? It's not an easy decision. On one hand, they've invested too much to just walk away. On the other, how long can they keep funding a league that's hemorrhaging cash? Just as the situation looked bleakest, a glimmer of hope appeared. The WNBA is about to score a massive media rights deal worth $2.2 billion. But before you start celebrating, there's a catch that could turn this golden opportunity into fool's gold. What's the hidden danger lurking behind this windfall? Let's break down this game-changing deal. Starting in 2026, the WNBA is set to receive $2.2 billion over 11 years for their media rights. That's not just a little bump. We're talking 36 times more than their current deal. Can you imagine going from $60 million a year to at least $100 million? It's like hitting the lottery, but for an entire sports league. Now you might be thinking, problem solved, right? Not so fast. Remember those $40 million losses we talked about earlier? This new deal could flip the script, potentially turning that $60 million loss into a $60 million gain. It's a complete 180 that has everyone from owners to fans buzzing with excitement. But here's where things get tricky. You know who else is eyeing that $2.2 billion? The players. And can you blame them? They've been grinding it out on relatively low salaries for years, and now there's a big pile of cash on the table. You better believe they want their slice of the pie. This is where the WNBA's golden ticket could turn into a double-edged sword. If player salaries skyrocket, it could eat up a huge chunk of that new revenue. Suddenly, that $60 million profit we were dreaming about starts to look a lot smaller. It's like finally getting that raise at work, only to find out your rent just doubled. And that's not the only factor that could shake things up. The WNBA is also looking to expand its regular season and playoff schedule. More games mean more opportunities for revenue, but it also means higher costs. It's a delicate balancing act that could make or break the league's financial future. So here's the million-dollar question, or should we say billion-dollar question. Can the WNBA thread this needle? They've got more money coming in than ever before, but they've also got more hands reaching for that cash. It's like trying to keep a dozen plates spinning at once. Exciting, but one wrong move and it all comes crashing down. Threading that needle just got a whole lot harder. Enter Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom who's supposed to save the day. But here's the twist. Her arrival might be tearing the league apart from the inside. How did the WNBA's golden goose become its biggest headache? You'd think everyone would be thrilled about Caitlin Clark joining the WNBA, right? Think again. Sure, she's bringing in droves of new fans and media attention like never before. The arenas are packed, social media is buzzing, and it feels like the WNBA is finally getting its moment in the spotlight. But not everyone's jumping for joy. Believe it or not, some WNBA players are actually pushing back against these new fans. It's like they're saying, thanks, but no thanks to all the attention. Can you imagine that? You finally get people interested in your league, and some players are giving them the cold shoulder. It's a head-scratcher for sure. And it gets even crazier. There are accusations flying around about racism and preferential treatment. Angel Reese, another star player, publicly called out Caitlin Clark's fans, labeling them as racist. That's not just trash talk. That's dropping a bomb on your own league's new supporters. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. But it's not just words. The tension is spilling onto the court, too. Clark's been facing some seriously aggressive physical play. She even called out some of the fouls, saying, "That's just not a basketball play." It's like some players are trying to send a message. You might be the new star, but this is our house. Here's where it gets really dicey for the WNBA. All this drama could end up alienating those new fans they desperately need. Imagine you're a new fan, excited about women's basketball for the first time, and you see players trashing other fans or playing dirty against the star rookie. Are you going to stick around, or are you going to change the channel? The league's walking a tightrope here. They need to embrace this new fan base to turn things around financially. But if players keep pushing back, they might lose all that new interest and the money that comes with it. It's like finally getting invited to the cool kids table, only to have your friends start food fights and insult everyone there. All right, let's wrap this up. The WNBA is in a wild spot right now. They've got Caitlin Clark bringing in fans like crazy, but they're still losing money hand over fist. It's like they've hit the jackpot and gone broke at the same time. Can you believe it? Here's the deal. The league's future is hanging by a thread. They've got to figure out how to keep those new fans coming, pay their stars what they're worth, and somehow stop bleeding cash. It's a juggling act that'd make a circus performer sweat. So what do you think? Can the WNBA pull off this miracle comeback? Or is this the final buzzer for women's pro basketball? The clock's ticking, and the whole sports world is watching.